Okay, so dear Dhamma practitioners, be comfortable yourself and relax your body. Keep your back straight, neck head straight in one line and your right palm on your left. So gently close your eyes and bring your attention to this bell sound. And while you're focusing to the sound, mentally relax your body, relax your mind and relax your breathing with your thoughts. So do nothing extra. Just follow the sound, please. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Exalted One, the fully enlightened one. So, dear Dhamma practitioners, before we start our practice session, we'll take few minutes for ourselves to clarify how this practice can help for us to develop our inner awareness. So our main practice is meditation. But when it comes to meditation, this is a wisdom path. In this wisdom path, there are wisdom tools. And there are three kinds of wisdom tools that you should have when you walk in this wisdom path. What are those three kinds of wisdom tools? So the first one is hearing. Another one is contemplating or reflecting or reasoning, removing all the obstacles. And the third one is the meditation. So hearing is very important. Why? Because before you into contemplate or before you into reflect or reasoning, first you should know. That's why the Buddha's teaching is important. So then why by ourselves we can't do it? Why we need to hear it? Because we ourselves don't have enough wisdom to go beyond who we are. If that we had the wisdom, then we already passed this moment. But when we look ourselves, we became like this because of our inner qualities. Using that same qualities, you can't go beyond this. So that's why we need some kind of help out of the Dharma. So there was a washerman. He go, collect all the cloth around the village and then go to the river and start to wash this. So in the countryside, when they wash clothes, sometimes they use their hands to clean the cloth, and sometimes when there are too much dirt, what they take a piece of rock and gently rub the place to remove the dirt. So there was a washerman, and he went to the river, the river, and then he found a piece of rock. And he started to clean the cloth, because that is the important thing for him. While he rubbing and brushing, what happens to this piece of rock start to become kind of like give a shine. But he didn't understand what it is, because he into clean the cloth. That is the very important thing, how to get the dirt out of the cloth. That is what he knows. And then, but this piece of rock looked beautiful. He didn't want to throw it away. And he took it with him. On the way, he met his one of friends selling vegetables. And he showed it and, look, this piece of rock. And the vegetable man know about vegetables. And he told, oh, if you want, I can exchange it for some vegetables. But still this guy thought, no. And then on the way, he went to the fisherman. So then the fisherman told, looking at it, oh, I can give some fish if you want. It look beautiful. And then by the time somehow, there was a gem cutter, and he went to the place, because if it is a piece of rock and look beautiful, he didn't have that much idea. Then the gem cutter examined it and told, this is the most expensive piece of gold that you found. And he gave so much money, and then the watchman get out of that his very difficult, hard situation and start to had a very good, comfortable life. So if you look very carefully, why we need the right method for ourselves. And sometimes we kind of like the washerman. So if we use our own knowledge to analyze things, we just go with how to take the dirt out of the cloth. That's the only thing. So then maybe on the way around us are the people, if you look very carefully, and they have their own life. And if you try to get the advice from them, they give the advice according to what they know. So that's why the vegetable man or the fisherman and gave that kind of advice. So then in case if you get into the goldsmith or the gem cutter, then may you find the right value for what you have. So the gold is kind of like, you don't need to find it anymore anywhere, because your own perception, your own understanding, your own awareness itself is the gold. Itself is the gem that you have. See that we try to enjoy with it, and we try to find our kind of like a sensual happiness. And there is another person use the same perception with the same eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, and the subject and object and the consciousness. And then they attain to the enlightenment or the liberation, but we into the samsara. The same source. There's nothing different. Only thing is that the method that we use, then we have to understand that the tools that we already have, how to use it properly. That's why you need the right teachings. So that's where the Dhamma play the role. So then you have to develop the art of listening. So when it comes to the art of listening, there are few things. There are three ways that we have to kind of like a don't listen method. It's a one of the don't listen method. It's not kind of like, oh, listen like this way. No, don't listen like a upside down pot. So it's a kind of like, so this is the, if you turn it this like this and you pour the water, it's not going to take anything. So don't listen like a upside down pot. That's the first don't listen method. And other one is don't listen like a leak pot. Why? Because whatever pour, it's go away. And the third one is very important. Don't listen like a dirty pot. So what is the dirty pot? So the dirty pot is your all the ideas, thoughts, cankers, habitual patterns. You have your own dogmas in you, but still you keep listening and you don't get the right. Even you listen, it happened even during the Buddha's time to today, that there are a lot of people came to Buddha and there were a lot of arguments. They had the opportunity to have the real in-person conversation. But still, they didn't get what the Buddha taught, because it's kind of like they listen with the dirty pot. Why? Because they didn't give up their own ideas. So this is the thing. Our ideas are very important for us. We love it. We take care of it. We want to protect our own ideas. Why? Because that is how we survive. We no need to challenge. I'm not going to challenge to your ideas. I'm not trying to convert you. Even don't try to do it to anybody else. But the thing is this. I'm going to bring up a question to in front of your table. So you have to ask from yourself. You don't need to give the answer to me. So this is the thing. Without breaking the egg, how you can make an omelette? That's the question. That's the key point you have to ask from you, because our feelings, who we are in the moment, and covered by this skin, in deeper in the desires, the feelings, needs, so we are kind of like this protected, well-protected, preserved egg. So liberation is kind of like to get out of this. If you want this, if you are comfortable with this, then you have to go with it. But if you want to make the omelette, don't afraid to break the egg. That is the key point. So don't spend time to think about it that now. Because it's deeply will take you to a different level of understanding by the time. Take some times. When you have free time, start to question yourself and try to little bit go deeper and try to understand it by yourself. What it means. It's a very simple thing, but if you try to get exactly to the point, and it will help you to understand how to listen properly. Because when it comes to that, it give up your inner self-centered view and make you free. And that brings the clarity to yourself to listen. That is the very beginning. That is the foundation, listening. And once you listen, now you recognize it. But still, there is something like this. And sometimes you may say to yourself, oh, I heard it, but I didn't get it. I know it is right, but I didn't get it. So then what you need to do, what you heard, you have to contemplate on it. You have to reflect on it. You have to reasoning on it. And for that, you have to use all the methods. You may have to question. It's not kind of like, the teacher, students, no, you have to come to a level to ask the question like the goldsmith examining the gold, piece of rock. When we are well known, well experienced, the goldsmith, when they have a piece of rock, how they examine, they use all the methods, and sometimes they touch it, they brush it, wash it, and sometimes maybe they burn it. If they want to bite, they bite it. There is a no kind of like hold it to something and try to examine vigorously, thoroughly, deeply, that what you heard, you have to get into yourself and try to make it clear inside you. So that takes time. That's why whatever you heard, don't expect, accept it right away. Especially the Dhamma. Look at the life. Look at through this many centuries, we came through science, technology, that actually that we are experiencing this everything to the highest now. And we are so fortunate in that level. It's so advanced. But still, people don't know what is this consciousness. People have no idea. There is no real solution. Even recently, neuroscience and neurologists start to investigate about it, and it doesn't matter how advanced the science and the technology, still there's no any complete, very clear understanding about what is this consciousness. So then yourself, you have to remember, whatever you heard, don't take it right away. You have to use some time and look into it deeply, thoroughly, questioning, arguing, and searching about it, using your logical mind. You have to get into it. So once you have that, from that point, when you go to meditation, so that your meditation going to become more profitable, because you heard something, now you get it, no doubt about it. You remove all the obstacles and very clear. And when you go to meditation, your practice is going to become more profitable. So that when it comes to meditation, you should know there are two kinds of meditation technique: tranquility meditation and Vipassana meditation. So when it comes to tranquility meditation, it's the collective awareness. having undisturbed mind, and developing the clarity. So when it comes to that point, you have to remember this consciousness. And there is a huge, argument, debate keep going. Is it only for humans? Why this animal doesn't have the consciousness? Is there any way this animal can behave like human? There are many scientists nowadays, many doctors sometimes, and say, oh, they have the consciousness or like that. And we can't even argue that, telling, oh, they can't understand what is right or what is wrong. Look that sometimes animals behave very well, and sometimes they are more advanced than the human. Like, when they want to find the explosive, and sometimes when they want to find drugs, they exactly go to that. And sometimes when they kind of like, as you know, detective use animals, dogs, to find some kind of murderer, maybe with the blood. Sometimes this person, this dog go to exactly to the right place, and maybe exactly find the right person. So how, if there's no consciousness, how this animal can do that? It's not a robot. So then we have to come to a point and understand sometimes. And as you know, there are some pets, the dogs, and they only stay closer to their master. And if anybody come and try to hurt, and they protect, and there are the animals, they will train. And so what is that? And when you go to the zoo, and sometimes there are animals, they do a lot of things, and they know after that they will get something to eat. So, and maybe they go and flip and jump out of the water, and then they're waiting to get something to eat. So how about that? From where it comes? So this is the thing. There is a consciousness. It's a consciousness, kind of like a field that it's kind of like a flux. So we all experience it. And even that, when you get into the tranquility state, and you can have, and it's not even in the human life. When you into the tranquility state, and if you die, and you can go beyond the human life, and maybe you become like Brahma or many deities, many devas, many angels. So that means that even beyond the human life, this consciousness, tranquility state can have a certain level. What is the most important thing with the human mind? Why it is different than the other animals? If they can think like us, there is no difference. But still, there is a difference. What is that different? So that only the human can practice the Vipassana. That is the key point. No any animals, even maybe you can train like, like chimpanzees, like monkeys. No, you can train them to have a very undisturbed mind. They don't get disturbed. Like dogs, they don't get disturbed. So it's kind of like if we bring the interpretation as the tranquility state as the undisturbed mind, then the animal also can have it. But it doesn't matter whatever, the conversation keep going. The only you as a human being, only you capable to have the Vipassana knowledge. Even not the samadhi, even that the tranquility state can have by divines. But they can't have the Vipassana knowledge. So what is the Vipassana knowledge? So the Vipassana knowledge is observing and recognizing how things come to be as they are. That is the key point. So as example, that you can train an animal to come and get exactly the pen. They may know the difference from the other things and they can recognize the pen. And you know there are a lot of animals play cards, watch TV, and they change the channels, remote. they push the buttons and they whatever the channel they wanna, when you say sport channel, they know what button to push. And I was looking this research I have done. It's go crazy, how this animal they train like this way. And the rats and whatever the coins, and they have they can understand the difference. And even the monkeys, and there are experiments, and they can exchange the money, and they know the $1 have the less value than the $5 note. And they can exchange that when you give $5 note, and then they can break it to $1, 5 notes. So it's kind of like something. But the thing is, no any other living being can understand how it come to be as a pen. So what is the mechanism behind this? That is the power of, that is the real power of your consciousness. So then don't remember, oh, you recognize something, oh, the other animal also can recognize that. So then what the Buddha said, manasa uchati iti manusa. So what is the highest level of your human awareness? You have ability to recognize how things come to be as they are. Yeah, that is the analytical awareness. So then when a situation comes, forget about the meditation. In day-to-day life, in ordinary life, when a situation comes, if you don't use that wisdom, that what you have, because as we know ourselves, we don't use our even very physical level of that's conventional brain that much. So then when a situation comes, if you don't analyze that situation, how it come to be as it is, and if you try to take a decision based on your own point of view, and sometimes we are not different than the animal, then you can say only human, also another living being, another animal. Of course. Why? Because you don't bring the real ability. So the meditation is then even the tranquility state is, it's kind of like a method that you come to a point to tranquilize, calm down the mind. And even if you don't use the analytical mind, then still you're going to be. That's why the Buddha is the one who introduced the Vipassana. And that's why before the Buddha, these people used to have the tranquility state, samadhi. It was a huge conversation. And during people, many enlightened masters used to have it and practice it. still there are people do it. There are many. When it comes to tranquility meditation, there are many techniques. And in Buddhism, there are 40 techniques. And even there are some other branches, some other schools practice like Tibetan Buddhism. There are some Zen Buddhisms. And they go with different methods, and they have more than 40 meditation techniques. They have kind of like a thousand. So you come, so we have thousand methods to attain to tranquility state, and then you become so happy. Why? Because, oh, I can find something. So the point is this: tranquility state it's very important, but it is not the right place for us to go. Nothing wrong with it. It is very important. But the thing is, you have to, once the mind tranquilized, from there you have to go to Vipassana level. That means with that concentrated mind, with that undisturbed mind, you have to recognize how things come to be as they are. So when the situation, look that even when a situation comes, when we hear from others, even in that we bring this from Greek methods, that the court system, hearing, looking evidence, and try to find, oh, you right or wrong. So what is that? We try to analyze in the very conventional level how it happened. So it was we use it is in a certain way in the conventional level, but the thing is, if we use it in the conventional level, especially the most of time farmers, they do it for their farming. They always analyze. That's why the farming is one of the ancient, the method for living, and at the same time it is so very close to development of the mind. So, and today, look that when we go to the machines and you work with the machines and you don't know what the heck happening there, you just, maybe something come to your place and you take it and you put it. And then you also kind of like a part of machine. You take it and keep it. You take it and keep it. But the farm is not like that. From beginning to end, interfering, morning to night, night to morning, and examine and be with it. And it gives the wisdom how it come to be as it is. So, but today in our day-to-day life, and we don't have that much understanding. And but in as example, that if you cook, and your mother know, your husband know, when if they cook, they know how you can make something the way you want. But today what we do, you buy something and put it to microwave, put the button, and then you take it out and eat. You don't know what is happening there, how it came to be as it is. You don't know. See that you lose that the human ability to analyze. It's nothing wrong with anybody. This is the place we live. This is the environment we live. But you have to understand the power of the human mind we don't use now. It's losing away from us. It's going away from us. So that's why this analytical meditation, the Vipassana meditation, is very important to practice yourself, because it bringing back and it develop your inner ability. It's everything the same now. It's even the driving. When you ride the horse, it's totally different, and you engage moment by moment, and then it's still, you you start to get into the manual car, you know what it is and how it is, how you have to, change the speed and the gear and how to do that. And then you came to auto. And now it is electric. It is your car is more than the car. It is totally different. It's a different kind of machine. You just put the buttons, and then it take you to different level of consciousness. So what I want to tell, that the day-to-day that what we live is we take us away from our real ability of analyzing. So then that's mean it take away us from our real human ability, because that is the real human ability, not other thing. Eating, reproducing, sleeping, enjoying, having sensation, sensual pleasure. This everything all other animals do. But see this ability. So then when it comes to meditation, you have to understand tranquility meditation and the Vipassana meditation. So why it is important that understanding the Vipassana meditation? Because it is ignite your real human ability. And it gives the real strength for you to function as a real human being. And that is where you recognize this. So then the method is, first, be very clear with the hearing. So whatever you hear, another thing is I want to mention, now we're living in an information era. So don't hear everything, anything. You have to be very selective nowadays. Don't go to all the informations. Don't do that, because you have very limited time, but you have a lot of opportunities, and maybe you miss the point. So then yourself get into the certain information and look into that and hear it. So while you're hearing, so I'm going to recap a little bit and wrap it up for you to understand this wisdom path and what are the tools that you want to have. So the hearing, when you hear, that you should not listen like a upside down pot. You should not listen like a leak pot. You should not listen like a dirty pot. So that is that. And then another thing is the contemplating. When it comes to that, even you heard something, if you don't get it really, oh, I didn't get it. If you didn't get it like that, reflect on it and analyze it and do any methods to understand yourself. Do anything, bite it, even if you throw it to pieces to understand, do it. That's how you get it. So once you have it, and then other thing is it's become real for you. And then you go to the meditation. So in the meditation, two methods. One is the tranquility meditation. It is very important. Basically, you tranquilize, and then after that, rather than settle down there, you go to the Vipassana level to understand how things come to be as they are. And then what you need to do, then you have to integrate hearing, contemplating, meditation, tranquility, Vipassana, this all together and be with it. When you come to that, as a result of that, what happens, that the deeper the transformation going to happen. And then you will recognize the path you walk take you to the the right place, and then you don't worry about the destination. Why? Because you know the path is right, and then you enjoy the journey. So with that, let's get into practice a little bit. So your right palm on your left, neck it straight in one line, and be comfortable with your posture. And scan head to toes 3 times yourself and say Sopatveva, oh, may I be well and happy. Take a moment and think. We gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge. In this moment, with this sitting, may my body become more comfortable, may my breath be more smooth, may no difficulties come to me, may all the success come to me. Also think for a moment, this is the last moment we're spending in this very lifetime, and detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing the sensation of your inhalations and exhalations. So deeply and gently, breathing, breathe out 3 times and find the sensation, please. And allow your inhalations, exhalations happen itself. When it happens, recognize it, do nothing extra. Bring your attention to your body, please. Observe your posture. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through entire your compound, village, city, state, country, world, around this universe. Also, as far as you can, through galaxies, other planets, stars. Reminding yourself like this. With clear intention, mentally repeat after me. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe, and may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away. Already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one out of anger or ill will wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart. Forward, visualize yourself and send it as light. To your backside, to your left side, and to your right side. Downward and upward. To all six directions at once, like the moon, the sun, Spread the light, spread the energy without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it, with the maximum effort to the highest. Wishing yourself, may all living beings in this universe be well and happy. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So first of all, we offer this practice to the great qualities of the Buddha, Dhamma and the Sangha. And also by the power of this meritorious deed, may all of us attain to the supreme bliss of Nibbana. May all your guardian angels and deities will receive these merits and increase their longevity and protect all of you from any kind of planetary influences or any ill effects. Ittavata cha ammi sampadam punya sampadam sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya Imaya dhammanu dhamma patipattiya buddham pujemi dhammam pujemi sangham pujemi Attaya imaya patipattiya jati jara vyadhi maranam ha paribunjissami Idammi punya kammanga savakkaya vahang hotu sabba dukkha pamunchatu. Bless you.